Hang with us, caller, Big Kahuna. Let me see if I can go live with a Scottish guy and see if you can hear him on your end.
Okay. It's pretty late in Scotland.
I know. He said he wasn't going to come on because he had too many beers. Hey, what's up, A Plus Golf?
How we doing?
Doing well. Hey, Dad, can you hear him?
Yeah.
What's your name, sir?
My name's Aaron.
Aaron, welcome to my podcast.
Pleasure. Thank you for having me.
What part of Scotland are you from?
I'm from Edinburgh.
Edinburgh. I believe,
Yep.
Dad, you've been to Edinburgh, haven't you?
Yeah, I spent a month at the Royal Infirmary in Edinburgh as a medical student.
That's not a good place to be.
He was in medical school.
Ah, okay. That's a better place. That's a better reason to be there.
I ate a lot of haggis, tatties, and neeps. They seem to enjoy haggis, tatties, and neeps.
That's the one.
So what methodology do you use to go through the bag? Do you just have people hit 5 7-irons, 5 8-irons, and then average out the data and kind of see where you're at?
It depends on where we get to or what we're comfortable with. If we hit 5 7-irons, which are okay, we'll probably try and hit a couple more which are good with their own iron, and then work off that data to try and improve it. If the way we look at it is someone coming into us for a fitting has an issue with the clubs and we see that as a puzzle, if we can kind of fix that puzzle and help their golf, then they're going to buy a set of clubs off us. If the puzzle is more technical and they need perhaps a lesson, we would then recommend a lesson, and it may be technique over technology.
What's the state of golf in Scotland, aside from COVID? Is the average Scotsman a golfer these days, or is it kind of a dying sport?
No, I think it's more on the growing side now. Particularly, I think golf hugely benefited from COVID after everything reopened. Golf was one of the only things that reopened to a normal flow, essentially. And I think Scottish golf has benefited from COVID. I think a lot of new upstarts and a lot of people coming back to the game after a little while out of it.
Yeah, I've been thinking about that too. We got this wave of people coming in, and it's going to be up to us to kind of dig those trenches to keep that water from receding back out to sea. We got to keep these people in the game, baby.
Yeah, we have to keep them interested, and hopefully we can. It's up to us. It's up to guys like you and I guess.
That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to make golf interesting online and show people why I love it. Why do you love golf?
I think for me it's now embedded in it. I go out, I play around. I play off about 2.
Me too. That'd be about what I'm at right now.
Yeah, I would be happy to go out and shoot a couple over par, and it's always there's a stretch of about 3 or 4 holes where I'll maybe be 2 or 3 under, and I think that if I go around the next time, maybe it's a stretch of 6 or 7 holes where I'll be 4 or 5 under, and it never happens, but it's always the anticipation of the next round might be, this could be the best round I've ever played. I just go out now, this will be the best game I've ever played, and it never quite materializes, but maybe the next time I go it might.
Is Trackman still undoubtedly the best, or are there some other guys coming in that are almost good?
For radar data, Trackman is the best. For custom fitting, if you wanted some club face data and some club head data, GC Quad is phenomenal. Because GC Quad sits slightly in front of the club face, whereas Trackman sits behind, GC Quad will give you the exact pinpoint of where the ball has come off the face. So if I had the option of where I could be fitted, it would be at a driving range. Trackman because of the radar. If it was indoor, it would be GC quad.
You said something that I didn't realize. Make sure everybody at home hears that. The Trackman is sitting behind you looking down range, so there's no way for it to see where on the club face the ball strikes. You're saying GC
Correct.
quad sits a little bit face on and in front of the golfer, so it's able to see where it is. How much of a difference is there in the data between guessing where it hit on the club face with Trackman and actually seeing with the, what is it called, GC quad?
GC quad, so that is a foresight unit. I mean, Trackman is it's going to be a very, very, very educated guess. It's going to be very close to being where you would expect it to be, but GC quad will give you exactly where it has hit.
So are we talking about Trackman could be wrong by as much as, you know, you're hitting it heel biased and Trackman thinks that it's toe biased? Would it never make that big of an error?
No, it's not going to make that big of an error. You're talking maybe a couple of centimeters maximum being out. But if you're talking high level elite,
yeah,
then that 2 centimeters could be.
For sure. Why wouldn't you want to have that data if you've got the super high level guys?
Exactly.
Is that ultimately what you're trying to do with the high level guys, is to build a club where they can make their swing as hard as they want to swing? Or there's a question. Do you fit based off of their max swing ever, or do you just try to always kind of keep it in the ballpark of their normal swing?
No, I mean, that's a big conversation. So if that golfer goes after it 2 or 3 times out of 10, then yeah, you have to fit for that max swing. But if that golfer goes after it maybe 1 in 20 or 1 in 30, then we're fitting off an average. A point about you're talking about changing millimeters and centimeters. Rickie, you know how Rickie Fowler's new irons from Cobra?
I don't follow. I'm so bad. You have to fill me in. I don't know anything.
So Rickie Fowler has a new set of irons from Cobra, and they're a very, very nice looking small kind of bronze blade. And he changed from a steel shaft to a graphite shaft from Mitsubishi.
Okay.
So he's gone from a steel shaft to a 125 gram X-Flex Mitsubishi graphite shaft in his irons. The reason he's done that is because with the graphite shafts, he hits it slightly higher on the face. Maybe potentially the shaft droops a little bit more. So he's he's maybe digging a little bit more, and the top of the club face is what is hitting or a slightly higher point in the club face is what's hitting the ball. What he's getting out of that is a slightly higher launch angle with a slightly less spin rate. So he's getting a bit more distance out of these irons because of where he's striking it. And the only way he would find that out is through a fitting on GC quad.
I guess he played the other day. Did he do pretty good fresh out of the gates?
I watched a couple of rounds at the AT&T and he hit a couple of loose iron shots. So I'm maybe not sure that's the best example, but he needs to find a little bit of magic. Rickie Fowler needs to find a little bit of magic in his game.
Do you think he suffers from being so talented that he's really good at like painting and motocross, and he's a pretty boy, and he's got all these other things going on where golf is not like his number one love?
I mean, if you look at someone like Jordan Spieth, and then you look at someone like Rickie Fowler, if Jordan Spieth hits a good shot, and then Rickie Fowler hits the exact same shot, it means a hell of a lot more to Jordan Spieth.
Explain.
So the emotion that they show, Rickie Fowler is kind of in the. I don't know where he's. I don't know whether he's just well practiced and to keep his emotions in check. But a guy like Jordan Spieth hits a good shot and it goes to 10 feet on a particularly good competition. you see the emotion come out and you kind of get behind them. Rickie Fowler hits the exact same shot under the exact same circumstances. He doesn't show the same emotion, and you just kind of you feel a little bit shortchanged because Jordan Spieth's shown immense emotion, and you feel that you want to get behind that guy, and then Rickie Fowler pays you the same shot, and you say under the same circumstances, and you're just not as heavily invested, if that makes sense.
Okay, so is your argument that he's able to ride a bigger wave on the crowd because he's earned their like loyalty and that they're kind of like they're helping his momentum?
Yeah, I would totally agree with that. I would get behind Jordan Spieth more than I would behind Rickie Fowler because he is going to show you some emotion and he's going to fist pump essentially. I mean, that's he's just going to ride on a crest, like you said.
Golf is so damn boring unless you're like super into it. The characters are so dry that yeah, you're looking for someone to root for. It's hard to get real fired up. I mean, you can respect the physical dominance of someone like DJ without a real intriguing personality, but yeah, that I wonder if there are like strokes. I wonder that'd be cool if there was a stat like strokes gained by like crowd decibel average.
100%.
They weren't able to pipe in the fake crowd noise as much as they did for like American football and stuff. That's been a weird COVID phenomenon, is the artificial crowd noise. Are they doing that with sports in Scotland?
Yeah. So if you're watching it on Sky Sports, that's the main sports channel we have here, they have the option of watching it with fake crowd noise or without.
I like that they give you the option. They're at least they're not lying to you.
I much prefer watching it without because you can actually hear the sports guy. You can hear the players.
Yes, I've noticed that too.
Shout on the pitch. You can hear what they're shouting, and you can hear the communication they have as a team. I always find that a little bit more interesting than just fake crowd noise.
Oh, hell yeah. Especially you as someone that's trying to help someone play golf better, play a game better. You've got that kind of game theory in the back of your mind. So being able to hear the super top level athletes shout out play calls to each other, and then you can kind of see what they're doing situationally. That might put announcers out of a job. We just need to have fanless stadiums and put a couple of boom mics out there on the pitch. What would you do as a first-time American coming to Scotland? What's like the must-play courses over like a week without too much travel where you're in the car the whole time?
Yeah, so we have something in Scotland called Scotland's Golf Coast, and it's a region of the country called East Lothian, and the Scottish Open is played there. The Open has been played there, so we have courses like Gullin and Muirfield and Archerfield, North Berwick, Dunbar, Long Nidri, and these are all courses that are within about, I mean, there's no more than 2 miles between each golf course.
And where do you shack up there? Is there any number of bed and breakfasts or?
Yeah, there'll be loads of places. It's not too far from Edinburgh. It's only 20 minutes from Edinburgh.
Okay. And before you go, give us one thing that we Americans can say when we come over there to people walking around Edinburgh or anywhere in Scotland that would freak them out. Give us a little insider jargon.
Talk about rugby. In the most recent Scotland versus England game, Scotland beat England at Twickenham, which is the English stadium. That's the first time that's happened since the 80s. So if you were to come over here and speak to someone in Scotland and say that, how about that last game at Twickenham? I can't believe we won it, and it was amazing. You would be welcome with open arms in pretty much any pub.
Get a free pint, maybe?
You might do.
Yes. All right.
As long as it's Tenants.
Write that down.
As long as it's Tenants.
Promo.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks so much for hanging out with us. I appreciate it. And to be honest, I haven't been following you, but I will. I like the scheme of your Instagram here. It seems like you've obviously got a strategy. So I'm going to reverse engineer and copy off of you just like I do everybody else.
No worries at all. It's been nice. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, it was a real pleasure. We'll have you back.
No worries. I'll speak to you soon.
Yes, sir.
Cheers now.
Cheers. I don't know how to kick you out, so you got to kick yourself out.
Kick myself out.
Oh, no, I could probably X you.
There we go.
See ya.